live from the Robins Center in Richmond, Virginia. The Richmond Spiders take on the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth University. VCU comes in 11-3, and the University of Richmond 4-7. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert, along with the all-time winningest coach in Richmond history, Dick Tarrant. Dick, VCU hot. They've won 6 in a row. Richmond coming off a tough loss to American University, but this rivalry always brings out the best in both squads. The school's located about 15 minutes apart.
That's right. You can forget the stat sheet. On paper, VCU is stronger. Forget the win and loss record. When the ball goes up, it's a great rivalry. We're going to see a great game tonight.
And Coach Sonny Smith and the Virginia Commonwealth Rams with a number of wide bodies this season, led by Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, I've watched practice the last couple of days. They have a couple of guys in there who look like the Cleveland Browns. Hopkins is particularly strong.
And here we see Bernard Hopkins in action. Tyrone McCoy, another key Virginia Commonwealth Ram. McCoy averaging 17.5 points per game.
The last 6 games he's averaging 21.3, but isn't that so much as the way he finds his baskets. He can score points inside and out. McCoy is a great athlete.
Well, McCoy, the leading Virginia Commonwealth scorer. The high man on the Richmond Spiders is their only returning starter. He played 1 year under Dick Tarrant here at Richmond. Cass Weaver averaging over 17 points per game.
Weaver's another good athlete, and they're going to have to go to Weaver if they expect to win tonight. And I think they're going to find screens set for him, double screens, staggered screens, what have you. They're going to have to go to Cass to win.
And the man in the middle for the Richmond Spiders is their senior center, Derek Wall.
Well, Wall stabilized the defense. A very fine post defender, very good in the zones. He gives the team some stability, and Wall's going to be a factor tonight on the boards.
Well, it should be an exciting ball game. Over 8,000 expected here at the Robins Center. They call it the City Championship. The Richmond Spiders and the Virginia Commonwealth Rams up next here on HTS. Kenny Albert, Dick Tarrant back at the Robins Center in Richmond, Virginia, where the Richmond Spiders are getting set to host the Virginia Commonwealth Rams. And right now, for the introduction of the starting lineups, let's head over to the public address announcer, Mike Blacker.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the campus of the University of Richmond and the Robins Center for tonight's Division I City Championship game between the Virginia Commonwealth University Rams and your University of Richmond Spiders. Here are the starting lineups. First for VCU at forward, a 6'7" junior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 5, Bernard Hopkins. At the other forward position, a 6'5" senior from Bethune, South Carolina, number 22, Tyrone McCoy. At center, a 6'8" sophomore from Gainesville, Florida, number 32, George Byrd. At guard, a 6'3" junior from Norman, Oklahoma, number 15, Ben Peabody. And at the other guard position, a 6'1" sophomore from Malton, Canada, number 21, Sherman Hamilton. And the head coach of the Rams is Sonny Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the starting lineup for your Richmond Spiders. At forward, a 6'7" freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, number 25, Gerard Stevenson. At the other forward position, a 6'8" freshman from Beltsville, Maryland, number 45, Eric Poole. At center, a 6'7" senior from Durham, North Carolina, number 32, Derek Wall. At guard, a 6' freshman from Union City, New Jersey, number 10, Carlos Cueto. And at the other guard position, a 6'3" senior from Olympia Fields, Illinois, number 3, Cass Weaver. And the head coach of the Spiders is Bill Dooley.
This is the 41st all-time meeting between these crosstown rivals. The Rams lead the all-time series 24-16, including 9 of the previous 16 games here at the Robins Center. But last year at the Richmond Coliseum, a 15-point Spiders victory. VCU came into that one 5-0. The officials Zelton Steed, Terry McCauley, and Keith Maxwell. The Spiders at 4 up and 7 down. The Rams 11 wins, 3 losses. Hopkins, McCoy, the forwards for Sonny Smith's Rams. Byrd, the center, Peabody and Hamilton in the backcourt. Bill Dooley and the Spiders with Poole and Stevenson up front. Derek Wall in the middle, the senior Cass Weaver, and freshman Carlos Cueto. Byrd and Wall. And the Spiders control the opening tap. This is Carlos Cueto, one of 3 freshmen in the Richmond starting lineup, guarded by Sherman Hamilton of Virginia Commonwealth.
Peabody is VCU's strongest defender, and he's playing tight on Weaver. I expected that matchup.
Just underway from the Robbins Center. Gerard Stevenson, watched by McCoy. 9 on the shot clock. Stevenson from 3. And Poole stepped out of bounds, so it will be Rams possession. Virginia Commonwealth coming off a 74-58 victory over South Florida. In their previous game, they defeated the Louisville Cardinals.
I think VCU is expecting to see a zone. Bill Dewey, coach of Richmond, went right to a straight man-to-man.
And Byrd leaves it in, giving VCU a 2-0 lead. Weaver had a step on Peabody, and Cass Weaver ties the score at 2. This is Bernard Hopkins, who we spoke about in the open. Now the lob underneath. Hopkins double teamed. He lays it home.
They got some big, strong inside people. They went to an high-low action. A very fine lead pass and a good reception.
4-2 Virginia Commonwealth lead on the first Richmond turnover. Holding foul is called. It's on Cueto. His first.
There's a reach-in grab, pretty obvious by Cueto. Not a good foul. We might see some zoning underneath now.
Here's Byrd.
No doubt about that one.
6-2 VCU lead. Stevenson. And the blocking foul whistled on George Byrd.
Two-shot situation. He was in the motion. Anytime the man is in the motion to take the shot, any question of doubt, they give him 2. So that was a case where it didn't look up as if he's shooting, but he was in the motion and he gets pair.
Gerard Stevenson, freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Second leading scorer on the Spiders. In fact, the number 2 through 5 scorers after Cass Weaver, all freshmen.
I tell you, they're playing many, many more minutes than Bill Dewey would like them to, but he has no choice. He's using freshmen for long periods of time.
Stevenson misses both free throws.
Richmond's not a good free throw shooting team, nor is VCU for that matter.
McCoy underneath. Here's Hamilton, and it is rejected by Stevenson.
That's a return to sender.
Even with the new 32-cent postage stamp.
Trying to find threes.
10 on the shot clock, which was not reset after the block.
Hamilton picked it up, though.
And he lost control. Here come the Spiders. Stevenson all the way. Rebounded by Peabody. Here come the Rams. Hamilton. McCoy, nice work for Hopkins.
Good look by McCoy. He found the big boy underneath all alone.
3 of Virginia Commonwealth's 4 field goals, layups and slam dunks. They have gotten the ball down low.
There's no question they're going to go inside. Their power people are inside. McCoy is not the go-to person. The inside guys are the go-to people.
Cueto from 3. Carlos Cueto missed 8 of 9 three-point attempts in Richmond's last game against American, but he hits his first here tonight.
He's a confident shooter. He's not. Now we've got a zone. Now we have a 1-3-1 zone, which is a very strong inside defense. This is put in to guard the inside against Byrd and Hopkins.
8-5 VCU lead. We played 3.5 minutes. McCoy guarded by Cueto. Shot clock down to 7. And a holding foul is called. It's on Derek Wall of Richmond.
Boy, I didn't know. I didn't see it. Dewey certainly didn't like it, but I guess he had it. Now, that zone is very strong on the interior. The 1-3-1 zone, which protects the middle well. It's a little vulnerable in the corners. We'll see what VCU does with it.
Rams with the new 35 on the shot clock, which was down to 6. Here's McCoy. That's a 2-point attempt, an air ball. But Stevenson stepped out of bounds. No, they say it will be Richmond ball.
Do air balls kick off students? What is it about air balls and students that puts them in a frenzy?
That's a good cadence.
Yes.
Crosstown rivals, Richmond and Virginia Commonwealth. Here's Poole over Hopkins. Pulled down by Byrd. 3-on-2 for the Rams. McCoy pulls up, finds Hamilton. Here's Peabody. Oh, the reverse jam. 6'3", Ben Peabody slams it home over Big Body.
Wasn't that a great lift by that young man? He doesn't weigh more than 155 pounds. That was a great lift. There's a pressure release to the post.
Looked as if he took off from a trampoline.
Amen.
Cueto's shot was partially blocked. Here's Wall.
That was like finding a pearl in the junkyard. The ball was laying there, nobody wanted it. Wall picked it up and dropped it in. You ever find a pearl in the junkyard, Ken? No.
Never looked at the junkyard, although I'm sure Sanford and Son did. 10-7 Virginia Commonwealth lead. They have scored all 10 of their points in the paint. Here's Byrd. So the Rams found the man underneath, but Byrd could not hit.
I like what I see with the zone as far as protection of the inside is concerned. They're protecting the inside well with that zone, but there's some vulnerable spots in it.
McCoy was fouled. The personal called on Rod Stevenson.
That's McCoy's strength, the open court. He's very good in the open court. Here he is on the fly now. He takes a look. He got a good takeoff, and he was grabbed. Now,
timeout called with 5:08 gone by this first half. It's VCU leading by 3. Virginia Commonwealth leading 10-7 thanks in part to Ben Peabody, the 6'3" junior out of Norman, Oklahoma.
That was a great move. The VCU kids are finding each other. They're distributing the ball well. Here we found Peabody, who got behind the zone, went over and slammed it down. A great offensive move by Peabody.
One substitution by Richmond. Darrell Oliver, freshman guard, has checked in. All 10 of Virginia Commonwealth's points coming from in the paint. Here's McCoy looking underneath. Hopkins double team. Hopkins on the follow. He was fouled.
Richmond changed his zone to 3-2. I think Bill Dooley is going to just have varying zones and varying levels of resistance. This is another inside power move. Big boy just powers to the resistance until he finally gets fouled. They're very strong inside, and I think that's their strength, and they're going to go to it.
Bernard Hopkins shooting 11 percentage points better from the field than the charity strike.
Now this is going on all over the country. The free throw shooting is abysmal. I was talking to Sonny Smith about it. He says, do you have any idea why free throw shooting is so poor? I don't know. It's everywhere. It's not indigenous to Richmond or to VCU. It's all over. Free throw shooting is down badly.
Hopkins hits 1 of 2. VCU up by 4. It's the Rams 11, the Spiders 7. Derek Wall rebounded by Poole, and he lays it in. Eric Poole with his first field goal, and Richmond trails by 2.
Sonny Smith has not been extending down floor very much this year, but he did it after the dead ball situation, but, you know, resulted in a layup. So sometimes you weaken your defense by extending it.
Hopkins a bit too hard off glass. Spiders looking to tie the ball game. But they turn the ball over. Here comes McCoy. The foul is called on Oliver of Richmond. Fans and the Richmond bench wanted the charge.
That's a block charge situation in which a player must be established head and shoulders in the lane. It looked like he was there. Referees make mistakes too. Coaches make mistakes. Players make mistakes. Referees make mistakes.
Not a case of the senior getting the call over to freshman.
I don't have any whatsoever. I don't think the referees know who from who. It's a judgment call. He thought he had the good angle. Replay indicated it looked like it was a charge because it looked like the defender was in there. Very difficult calls for officials, the block charge.
McCoy, the only senior on the Virginia Commonwealth roster. He hits both free throws. Keith Davis comes on for the Rams, replacing Sherman Hamilton. Davis, a sophomore out of Washington, D.C.
Very solid player. Very solid backup point guard. Little zone press that's going to regroup man to man. Little trapping and a block.
Foul called on Ivan Chappell, who just checked in along with Keith Davis.
Sonny Smith has changed his philosophy a little bit. He's not extending as much as he did last year, and he's not shooting as many threes as last year. He's more conservative in his defense and rebounding at the half-court level.
And the Rams, in many of the preseason publications, predicted to finish last in the Metro Conference, off to a terrific start at 11-3. 2-0 in the Metro. Big victory over Louisville. And the foul is called on Hopkins. His first longest winning streak by a Rams squad in 6 years.
Well, it's great to have 6 home games back to back to back, and it's great to have your opening 2 Metro games at home. Get you off to on the right foot. They have to go down to Virginia Tech Saturday. It'll be a tough game. It'll be a good game because Tech is strong and VCU is strong.
Hopkins committed the foul. He is replaced by number 34, Marlo Talley. Sonny Smith has gone 8 deep in the first 6.5 minutes. Weaver off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Davis. Keith Davis, the Virginia Commonwealth. This is Chappell. George Byrd. Byrd and McCoy, the only starters remaining in the VCU lineup. Chappell guarded by Oliver. Here's McCoy from 3. Foul is called underneath on Richmond. Stevenson is second.
Common foul, out of bounds under. Richmond's changing the zones. They've shown a 3-2 zone, a 1-3-1 zone, a 2-3 zone. He just kind of throw them off kilter a little bit, see if he can destroy the rhythm.
Chappell from 3, he's got it. Ivan Chappell, junior out of Chesapeake, Virginia, gives VCU a 7-point lead. And now the steal by McCoy. Around Oliver.
Exclamation point.
That is one for the highlight films. Tyrone McCoy with his first field goal. He has 4 points. And Virginia Commonwealth has doubled up Richmond. It's 18-9.
Virginia Commonwealth is playing the passing lanes very well. They're getting steals all the time. They're going to have some pressure releases, but they're into the passing lanes beautifully. Look at this breakaway.
How about this? A 4-on-0. McCoy once again. The Rams have scored 9 consecutive points. They lead 20-9, and here they come once more. Chappell.
Wow, look at goaltending, didn't it?
Here come the Spiders, 3-on-2. Poole could not hit. Here's Stevenson. The poor shooting continues by the Spiders. The foul is called on McCoy of VCU.
VCU is igniting their offense from the defense. The defense is so aggressive that it's kicking off their fast break.
Timeout on the floor. 9-0 run by the Rams. They lead by 11. Kenny Albert, Dick Tarrant back in Richmond, and Tyrone McCoy with the exclamation point.
Well, it's great defense. You can generate an offense off good defensive play. He just read the passing lane and got an easy basket. You have to take away easy baskets, and that one was just easy. There's another one where is the back person? There's supposed to be a point guard back, and he just got caught up inside.
Rams with 8 fast break points here in this first half, thanks in part to 5 Richmond turnovers. Foul called on Peabody of VCU, his first personal.
VCU is playing very aggressive man-to-man defense, and Richmond's going with some pressure release stuff and some high screens just to loosen them up. He's got a couple of good, big, strong kids in there now, McKinney and Edwards, and they're going to set some strong screens on these VCU players.
Number
Richmond
34,
needs some baskets.
Excuse me, Dick. 34, Rick Edwards. 44, Jason McKinney checking in for Richmond as Oliver hits the first free throw. John Smith in the Rams lineup. 6'8", 270-pound junior. Oliver did not get the roll. So the Rams lead by 10, 20 to 10. 11 and a half to go in this first half from the Robins Center in Richmond, Virginia. On the double team. He stepped out of bounds.
John Smith, much ballyhooed transfer from Wichita. He is a man-child.
There he is, 270 pounds. He led Wichita State in scoring as a freshman. This is Edwards, who just checked in. Edwards over Smith. Here's Weaver. Past Weaver with his second field goal. Eight-point Rams lead. Peabody bouncing it underneath. And Smith was fouled.
You know, Bobby Ross is a native of Richmond. He ought to come back here and take a look at some of these guys and bring them up to the game with Pittsburgh Sunday. That's a power move to John Smith inside. He just powered right through the resistance, foul on Edwards. This man would go through a brick wall, wouldn't he?
Would not want to run into John Smith. I feel like a brick wall.
Oh boy, he is a monster. I was at practice the last couple of days, and Smith comes out of practice every few minutes to ice his knees. He's suffering from tendonitis of the knees, so I don't think he's going to play a long time. But brother, he puts a body on, you know it's there. Good-looking shot.
Rams back up by 10. Here's Weaver, three-point attempt. He's got it.
That's a very good shot in transition. The zone pressed it. They weren't aligned properly, and Weaver got a wide open three. That closes things in a little bit.
The Rams have led by as many as 11. It is now 22-15 Virginia Commonwealth. Ivan Chappell back out to Peabody. Shot clock down to 11. Here's Chappell. He was fouled by McKinney. So Jason McKinney called for his first. And Ivan Chappell will head to the line.
VCU players are finding their teammates in open areas. It's a very fine pass down into the... See, the 3-2 zone, they had a trap on in the corner, and he escaped the trap, and then once that happens, you know, you're playing 4-on-3. Some good crisp passing, which is very important against zones. Sometimes the best zone attack, Ken, is good, crisp, sharp passing. Ball reversal and skip passes and penetration. But they're passing the ball very strong. They're hitting their free throws for a team that's not a particularly good free throw shooting team.
Chappell only a 44% free throw shooter. The Rams have hit 7 of 8 foul shots, while Richmond has missed 3 or 4. Midway through this first half from the Robins Center, Kenny Albert with longtime Richmond head coach Dick Tarrant, Spiders' all-time leader in victories, as McKinney's shot is rejected, but he was fouled by Smith.
Notice the great shot block from the offside. Oh, Smith has him, but it's a great block from the offside. Oftentimes, the best person to block a shot is the teammate's opponent. So there's one, you come off your man and block your teammate opponent's shot. Unless you're much bigger than your teammate, you shouldn't try to block his shot. You know, if you're 6'11", he's 6'6", okay. But it's better to come off your man and get. They don't expect you to come, and you can whack them.
Jason McKinney knocked down the first. McKinney wearing one of the biggest elbow pads I've ever seen.
He's got water on the elbows and tendonitis or something. He's had problems. He missed a couple games.
Peabody lost control, and he stepped out of bounds. So
it appeared the ball hit the backside of the backboard.
It hit the back, and then Peabody touched the ball once more. Sonny Smith in his 6th season as head coach of the Rams, the man who coached Charles Barkley at Auburn.
Sonny's a great fella. Under that austere look, he's got a great sense of humor, I'll tell you. Great fella.
Oliver out to Weaver, but a foul was called before the shot attempt.
Illegal screen. You have to jump, stop, screen. You can't have a moving screen. Obviously, he moved at that time. Richmond's trying to screen hard to get some shots for Weaver and others, but at that time there was a moving screen.
Second personal foul called on Rick Edwards. Wholesale substitutions by the Rams.
Both teams are in the bonus rather early. I mean, considering number 9 now against the Spiders, isn't it? They'll be in a double bonus well before the half.
Peabody did not hit the foul shot. So the Spiders with a chance to pull within 6. VCU went on a 9-0 run earlier and led by as many as 11. Weaver watched by Peabody. Out of the shot clock. Oliver. Here's Cueto. Now 3 on the shot clock. Oliver is wide open. He hits with 1 second by the 35.
Very fortunate for the Spiders to get one off. I mean, it was a pretty easy shot. Someone lost his assignment in there.
Richmond chipping away back within 6. 8.5 to go in his first half. Spiders looking to break the Rams' 6-game win streak. Byrd with the soft touch. His 3rd field goal.
Nice penetration by Hamilton. Nothing hurts his own more than dribble penetration. He got into the gap and found Byrd for an easy shot.
8-point VCU lead. McKinney had the ball knocked away by Hopkins.
And VCU is putting the heat on the Spiders. You know, you heard the term, put the heat on. They got heat on them.
Weaver's shot was partially blocked, and it's tapped in by Oliver.
Nice tip in for a guard.
Very alert play by the freshman Oliver. 26-20 VCU. Byrd backs his way in, dishes out to Peabody. Here's McCoy from 3. It was short. Hopkins on the follow.
Well, that's rather inexcusable. McKinney had inside position. Hopkins just took it away from him. It's just inexcusable. They needed that possession. Boy, they're just stealing it from him.
Here comes Hamilton. The holding foul on Cueto.
Very impressed with VCU's man-to-man defense. They're putting terrific pressure on Richmond. Richmond has to go to pressure release plays. In fact, they're having trouble even starting their offense. But that's been good, solid, tight, tough man-to-man defense. Some of Sonny's prior teams with the extension, they did a lot of pressing, a lot of fast breaking. When you press, you fast break hand in hand. He's pressing, fast breaking, shooting a lot of threes. He had 33, 34 threes last year against Richmond. Shot made 7 for 21% and went down by 16. I mean, I like the way he's playing. It's like the old J.D. Barnett teams where they pound it inside and pound you and wear you out. I want to see the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game if Richmond can hold up with these studs. I'm afraid not.
Hamilton misses both. McKinney pulls down the rebound.
Nice strong rebound by McKinney.
Cueto, guarded by Hamilton. 7 minutes to go in this first half. Ball knocked out of bounds by Davis. And a timeout is called. with the VCU Rams leading the Richmond Spiders by 8. Back at the Robins Center in Richmond, Virginia. Matchup of crosstown rivals. VCU leading Richmond 28-20.
Here's a missed shot by Weaver, and Darrell Oliver sneaks in there for a tip-in, and you know, you have to box out everybody. This team doesn't particularly run off misses, so everybody's got to put a body on somebody. Here's a case of Hopkins putting a stick back in. You just can't let him have that. You got to put your body on him and jam him outside. Push him to the baseline.
Oliver looked as if he was playing volleyball with the tap in.
It was a fortunate tip. A tip is tip. Boy, they're having a little trouble getting that thing going, getting the offense going. I like their defense. I like VCU's defense.
Weaver from 3. Weaver gets his own rebound, but could not hit. Here comes Hopkins. Byrd off the nice feed from Hamilton.
They're finding each other very beautifully. They're finding each other nicely.
VCU's lead once again is 10. Oliver can't find anyone. Now drives baseline.
Rather a wasted foul because Oliver was in a predicament. Davis is doing an excellent job on keeping the ball out of Weaver's hands. They had this guy, they had the offensive player pinched on the baseline. There's no way he could have made the shot, and they bailed him out with a foul. Kind of a foolish foul.
Second personal on Tyrone McCoy.
He's driving baseline. You'll find that he's so deep underneath, he couldn't have put the ball in the basket, and he was bailed out with a foul. It's sometimes in the heat of battle, guys don't use their noggin.
Darrell Oliver, 64% free throw shooter. Oliver makes both. He now has 7 points, leading the way for Richmond along with Cass Weaver.
1-3-1 zone. Dooley's changing his zones to give different appearances so that kind of slow them down. There's a pinch dribble penetration by Hamilton, which is very effective.
And the look-away pass to Byrd. Another assist for Sherman Hamilton and George Byrd. Now leads all scorers with 10. He's 5 of 6 from the field. Weaver double team, finds Oliver, uses the McKinney pick.
The dribble penetration by Hamilton is hurting Richmond zones. He's getting into the seams, and players suck to the ball. When they do, he's finding people. So I think the key to the zone offense has been dribble penetration by point guard Hamilton.
10-point Rams lead. Hamilton, Hopkins, here's Byrd, but he is called for the travel. The excellent pass work continues, but Byrd took too many steps.
They're a very selfless team. VCU, they share the ball well. I'm very impressed.
Only the 4th Rams turnover. How about the points in the paint? 28-6.
I said the go-to guy is not McCoy, it's the big boys underneath. And that's evidenced by this half.
So they have scored 28 of their 32 points from inside the paint.
They're just overpowering him inside. That's why Dooley has gone to a big, strong kid like McKinney and Edwards, because he has to combat it somehow or other.
Weaver guarded by Davis. Pushes back out to Cueto.
No matter who matches up with Weaver, they're not letting him have the ball.
Oliver. An impressive first half. Off the bench for the Spiders. He now has 9 points. Chappell bouncing it underneath the Byrd. And he was held by Oliver. That's Oliver's second personal.
Richmond's 1-3-1 zone is trying to push VCU out. They're trying to get them out of that paint area with some traps in the corners and some pressure, but If they can keep the ball out of the middle, fine, but they haven't done it so far.
George Byrd to the free throw line. Only a 58% foul shooter.
VCU people tell me that Byrd had football scholarships at Florida and Florida State. I'm not surprised. He looks like he'd be a great-looking whatever, 6'8" and 265.
You took the words right out of my mouth. We talked about the wide bodies during the open, and Byrd was recruited as an offensive tackle.
Is that what he was? I'm not sure his position, but boy, he's a big kid. He's made enormous strides since last year.
And the Rams have missed their last 5 free throw attempts. Yet Byrd will
Here's one
get another shot.
Here's one of my favorite calls in basketball, lane violation. Would you believe lane the violation? They're the earth movers. Look at the size of those guys.
And Hopkins, one of the earth movers, with the rebound, but lost control. And the Spiders, Weaver, into the front court. Darrell Oliver has scored Richmond's last 8 points.
Well, they need it. They need somebody to score because Weaver's not getting the ball. They are doing a great job in man-to-man defense.
Plato from 3. Long rebound by McKinney.
Did not finish. Had position, just didn't finish it all. 1-3-1 zone defense.
Chappell from 3. He's got it.
Very vulnerable in the corners. You have a couple of shooters go to the corners against that 1-3-1, you can't stay in it.
Chappell's second three-point field goal. Another Spiders turnover. 3-on-1. Here's Hopkins.
VCU can run. When they go off steals, they go. They have great team speed. Their big guys run. He got whaled.
Foul called on Oliver, his 3rd. Sherman Hamilton will go to the line.
The double bonus situation. Although it's a shooting situation, but they're already at 10. Oddly enough, I think the Richmond player fouled Hopkins on a breakaway to save a layup, and there was no call.
Adam Mobley checks in for the Spiders, replacing Darrell Oliver, who sits down with 3 personals and 9 points. Timeout with 3:29 to go in this first half, and the Rams with their biggest lead of the ball game. Welcome back to the Robin Center. Kenny Albert along with Dick Tarrant, who won 239 games as head coach of the Spiders. Richmond trailing VCU by 13, 37-24. Spiders shooting only 35% from the field. Weaver in and out. Chased down by Mobley. But he stepped on the line.
Went over the table.
Good effort, but Adam Mobley stepped out of bounds.
Richmond's going to have to shoot much better, expect to get into this game. Yeah. There's a good hustle, but the final analysis was the ball belongs to VCU. It's a good effort.
Mobley takes a seat on the press table. A redshirt freshman broke his foot last year during the preseason.
Bobby Ross, a Richmond native, coach of San Diego Chargers. I wonder if he'd like to come back here and get a couple of these studs for the game Sunday with Pittsburgh.
Might be able to use a couple of
one broken
Virginia Commonwealth Rams.
Oh, aren't they something? Richmond is staying in the zone. They're not going man-to-man, even though they're down.
Chappell. Second personal foul called on Derek Wall.
There's a pump fake from Chappell, and he just powers through the resistance, gets to the line. VCU's getting some good play from the bench. Keith Davis doing a nice job. Chappell's doing a nice job. John Smith's doing a good job. He goes 9 deep without any problem. He has quality reserves, quality depth.
The Rams now 9 of 17 from the free throw line. They were 7 of 8. So they have missed 9 of their last 11.
I think we had another one of my favorite calls in basketball, lane violation.
Another lane violation.
Lane violation.
What are some of the others?
Roll lanes with lane violations. 2 lane violations tonight. Sometimes you don't see them for a month.
Weaver now 3 of 10. He's missed his last 5 shots.
They're taking Weaver out of the game. The Spiders going to have big-time problems.
2.5 remaining in this first half.
So they're getting pressure release. They're clearing out the wings and dribble entry and drop it into the post. They haven't had anything inside.
Marlo Talley called for the personal.
Spiders need a spark. I don't know whether it's down floor pressure or going to man-to-man, or something's got to change the flow of this thing. Otherwise, it doesn't look good.
Eric Poole, freshman out of Beltsville, Maryland. They call him the Big E.
Coaches think this fellow's going to be a very good player in time. It's just that he's playing so much as a freshman, and if you get a learning process of maybe 16, 18, 20 minutes a game, but he's playing 28, 30. But Poole, I think, is going to be a good player. Not a very good free throw shooter.
Spiders have been held to just 4 points the last 5.5 minutes. They trail by 13.
Doesn't help when you blow those fouls.
4 free throw shooting on both sides. Weaver on the intercept. Here comes Cueto.
It's one of the few easy baskets Richmond had. I mean, everything they've worked for is like pulling teeth. That happened to be one of the few, what they call easy baskets, as we say in our esoteric language. Like that one, Ken?
Lane violation?
Yes.
Easy baskets?
Esoteric language of the coaches and players.
Talley with the air ball. Weaver with some fancy footwork.
VCU's man-to-man defense has the Spiders out of sync.
Nice spin move by Wall. How about that? Ball stuck in between the rim and the backboard, and the possession arrow facing the Rams' way.
That's a jump ball situation, and when the ball got caught in that ring, it couldn't go in that way. That's a miss, a bad miss, really.
Don't see that happen too often.
And then, of course, the jump ball situation, possession arrow, VCU.
37-26, Rams lead. Smith, his first field goal. Smith, the transfer from Wichita State.
Very graceful move.
A 13-point lead.
Very graceful move from big man. The fellas can play. Smith can play. He's a national recruit in high school.
As graceful as he can be for 270 pounds.
On top, but he can play.
Here's Mobley with the three-point attempt. He's got it. Mobley, who scored only 4 points coming in this season, 4 points in the Spiders' first 11 games, hits the three-pointer.
Makes it 10.
Big bucket by Adam Mobley, the freshman. John Smith, he traveled. Jason McKinney back in the Richmond lineup, replacing Derek Wall, who will sit out the rest of the half with 2 personal fouls.
The Spiders can get one now in the last 30 seconds and cut this thing to 8. I think 7 or 8. I think Dooley would be happy to go inside with that. Wouldn't you agree, Ken? Yeah.
Well, Virginia Commonwealth has led by as many as 13 just moments ago. Shot clock turned off. Richmond looking to pull within 8. 10 seconds. Here's Weaver. This a 2-point attempt, and that will do it for the first half. Impressive run midway through this first half by the Rams, and they head to the locker room leading the Richmond Spiders by the score of 39-29. Back in Richmond, just moments away from the start of the second half, with the Rams leading the Spiders by 10 points. We talked about the play of the Virginia Commonwealth front court. Well, how about this? 23 points. Hopkins, McCoy, and Byrd combining for 23. And Richmond's starting front court, Poole, Stevenson, and Wall just 4.
What's unusual is that Richmond has 10 offensive rebounds, but they haven't been able to do anything with them. Sonny doesn't like to see 10 offensive rebounds, but they haven't been able to convert. Another unsung hero in this game is Hamilton, who only has 2 points, but has 5 assists, 3 steals, a block, and only 1 turnover. So your point guard is very important in defeating that zone. He's pinching in there and creating trouble.
In this second half, Sonny Smith going with his starting 5. McCoy, Hopkins, Byrd, Peabody, and Hamilton. And for the Spiders, as Wall was fouled, heading to the hoop by Hopkins. Bill Dooley with Stevenson, Poole, Wall, Weaver, and Cueto. So both teams with their original starting 5.
There's a pressure release play. The pressure is so intense on the wings that they went directly to post, indirectly. Guard, forward, center. And they get down, and too bad he couldn't convert that one. A bit of a 3-point situation. So instead he goes to the line for a pair, and he missed the first of 2. This is what put gray hair on top of coaches' heads.
Are you referring to a specific coach?
Yes, yours truly, Jack.
Well,
what should have been 3 is 1.
Wall hit 1 of 2. Richmond 5 of 12 from the free throw line.
They're in a 3-2 zone, matching up. It's a good defense.
Jump ball, possession arrow, facing Virginia Commonwealth way.
McCoy got himself in a predicament, just laid it up there for the big guy, and he lost the handle on it, and it's just a scramble, little scrum.
A rugby scrum.
Yes, indeed. It's a lob over to the big guy.
Hopkins 1 on 3, could not hit, and he is called for the offensive foul. That's number 3 on Hopkins.
Oh, they need Hopkins in this game. Right now, the first 2 or 3 minutes of the second half are pivotal. If Richmond can make a run, it's a ball game. If VCU makes 2 or 3 quick baskets, it becomes one-sided. These couple of minutes are very important.
Opening minutes, second half, 9-point Virginia Commonwealth lead. Wall guarded by Hopkins, out to Weaver. Weaver shot just 3 of 11 in the first half.
They guarded him tough.
Cueto has a step on Hamilton, then he was stripped by Hamilton. Hamilton for 3. Rebounded by Hopkins. Byrd making it look easy. His 6th field goal. He has hit 6 of 7.
Stickbacks. What we call putbacks in basketball.
Rod Stevenson. Poole.
Very handsome follow. Well done by Eric Poole.
Richmond back within 9, 41-32. Pushing foul called. It's on Wall. That's his 3rd.
Foul number 32, George Wall.
No place for the light of heart in there. There's a lot of contact. It's good, hard physical play, but unless you like the bang, you're not a factor in this game. Here comes a strong boy, and Rick Edwards.
And Marlo Talley has checked in for the Rams. And off the pressure, the Rams turn the ball over. Virginia Commonwealth committed only 8 first half turnovers. Pick up 6. Cueto using the full screen. Tapped home by Edwards.
Richmond's getting some offensive rebounds, which is helping them a great deal. They really have to go to pressure release because they're playing great man-to-man defense.
Spiders within 7, and Sonny Smith wants to talk things over. The Spiders chipping away, then out trail by 7.
Well, Sonny Smith had to have a little prayer meeting because they're not boxing out. There were 2 failures to block out. One when Poole comes in and tips one in, and the second one follows this was Rick Edwards coming for another offensive rebound. There's a
the foul
failure.
by Edwards.
Yes, there's a failure to block out, and Sonny wanted to talk it over with them. I think you'll see it improve. Sonny called we call a prayer meeting.
Foul called on Poole. His second. Richmond with 12 offensive rebounds.
Foul number 45, Eric Poole.
And they have scored 10 points. 12 boards.
It's rather dismaying to coaches to look at that stat sheet and see the team getting a lot of offensive rebounds. That means you're not getting after it. I mean, they're not blocking out. There's no reason why Poole should come in there and take one over top of Hopkins and Byrd. It's just they're not boxing out.
Peabody now with 3 points. This is 5th consecutive start after opening the season on the bench. And VCU 4-0 with Peabody in the starting lineup.
Nice defensive player, though. Peabody impressed me with his man-for-man defense. He's doing a great job with Weaver.
Cueto could not get the ball across midcourt. The alley-oop to Peabody. Peabody with 2 field goals, both slam dunks. Remember the reverse of the first half. VCU back up by 11. Poole locked by Byrd. 10 on the shot clock. The steal by Hamilton.
VCU is getting so many points here at the defense. When you play good man-for-man defense, good things happen. And there's breakaways and advantages and easy baskets off good pressure man-to-man defense. Very good half-court defense.
That was his 6th steal by Sherman Hamilton.
He's having a great night.
Weaver rejected by Peabody. Jason McKinney back in the Richmond lineup, replacing Poole.
Well, Weaver went in among the trees, and they rejected to sender. I mean, there's no way he's going to get away with that.
Weaver has missed his last 7 shots. Stevenson hits for his first points of the ball game.
Stevenson been very quiet. Boy, he is getting places on the floor. Hamilton is getting places on the floor which destroys zones. One rule for a zone is to prevent penetration, and Hamilton is going right through the heart. So when you pinch the zone, there's a natural tendency for defenders to come into the ball. Kids are always going to suck to the ball. Then he's dishing off. That's why he's got 6 assists.
Cueto, guarded by Hamilton. Here's Weaver, who has missed his last 7, finally able to hit. Past Weaver now with 9 points as we check out the Washington Post scoreboard. East Carolina trailing Illinois State by 6. Second half. East Carolina and James Madison on HBS this Saturday at 4:30. Byrd puts home the McCoy miss. Byrd now with 14, leading all scorers. He is 7 of 8 from the field.
He uses his body very well. He just got in great position.
Edwards thought he was fouled. Now the lead pass to Peabody. McCoy, the return to Peabody.
Great team play by VCU. They're a very selfless team. They really use each other very well. I'm very impressed with their passing. They find each other.
This matches the Rams' biggest lead, 13. Here's Cueto. In and out, rebounded by Byrd. The outlet to McCoy, but he could not save it. Ivan Chappell back in for the Rams. Peabody sits down.
What's impressive about VCU is their quality reserves. They come off the bench with some very, very good backup players. Chappell, Davis, Talley. They really have some good reserves. Quality depth is important in our game.
Cueto with the alley-oop to Stevenson.
Well executed.
Didn't look pretty, but the end result exactly what Bill Dooley wanted.
Exactly.
Byrd underneath. Pass intended for Talley. Keith Davis replaces Sherman Hamilton. Hamilton sits down with 6 steals, 7 assists.
He's having
4 points.
He's having a great night. He's immeasurably important to this team.
Hamilton takes a breather. Pass Weaver out to Rick Edwards. 13:45 to go. Second half. McKinney did not get the roll. Edwards on the follow.
Another offensive rebound off it. They're putting back missed shots, which shouldn't happen against a team as strong as VCU. Some very good screening going on by Richmond. They're laying some bodies on them.
9-point Virginia Commonwealth lead. Chappell, who hit 2 3-pointers in the first half, does it again. Ivan Chappell, who came in shooting only 27% from 3, has hit 3 of 3 from downtown.
He came into VCU with a reputation as a very good shooter. There was a time when they set a screen on the back man in the zone, locked him in, and he had a pretty open shot. But he's buried him. That's what counts.
Foul called on Davis, his first. Weaver having a tough time inbounding, finally gets it into McKinney.
Spiders are having a tough time with passing the ball to each other because the pressure is so intense. They're relentless with their defense.
McKinney. Faced down by Stevenson. 4-on-2 for the Spiders. Cass Weaver now with 11. Rams lead is 10, 54-44.
Some good crisp passing against the zone here. They run what they call the spin. Center out.
Seven on the shot clock. Nice pass from Davis. And Hopkins puts home his 4th field goal.
Once again, penetration in the zone.
Weaver thought about shooting the 3. After 2-point field goal, Cass Weaver with the hot hand once again. He has hit his last 3 after missing 7 straight.
Weaver is utilizing his screen very well. He's being patient. He's ducking in behind the screen and finding his way.
Chappell out to McCord. 12 on the shot clock. But a quiet night for Tyrone McCoy, the Rams' leading scorer. But his teammates have certainly picked up the slack. Davis off balance. Rebounded by McKinney. Here come the Spiders looking to pull within 8. Cueto rejected by Chappell. And a timeout on the floor with 11:02 to go in this second half. It's Virginia Commonwealth leading Richmond by 10. CAA basketball returns to HTS this Saturday, 4:30 in the afternoon. The 7-4 East Carolina Pirates host the Dukes of James Madison.
That's a dedication of the new building. I'm sure it's sold out, 7,500. It'll be a great game.
That's 4:30 on Saturday. Virginia Commonwealth shooting 62% for the ball game.
Well, they're getting a lot of inside shots, and they should shoot high. They're getting very good shots.
Awkward hook shot by Edwards, but it rolled in, and the Spiders have pulled within 8.
Well, they got a chance now. 10.5 to go.
Here's Davis out to McCoy from 3.
He had a very good look. He had a very good look at the basket. Good shot from McCoy.
And the crowd at the Robins Center cheering the Spiders on as they trail the Rams 56-48. Weaver.
McCoy gave up on the cutter, and he hit the cutter late for a deuce.
Davis lost the handle. Here come the Spiders. No, then they turn it over. Hopkins back the other way. Davis. And Davis was fouled by Weaver.
Spiders offense number 3, Cass Weaver. That's his first personal.
There's no question he had to stop the layup, but there was a tough sequence before it in which the Spiders had possession, lost it over to VCU, and it winds up with, I would call a good foul. Because otherwise you get a dead-on layup. There's such a thing as a good foul, and they're not a great foul shooting team, a free throw shooting team, so it was well done. They've closed this thing to 6. I didn't think it'd get this close.
The poor free throw shooting continues. This the closest Richmond has trolled since 26-20 back in the first half. 9-0 spurt by Virginia Commonwealth midway through that first half. Open things up as Davis misses both, but the Rams keep it alive. And the foul is called on Stevenson, his third.
There's a hand-checking call. You know what bothers coaches, too? It puts more grays up top sides. When the man on the lane, who's up the lane, gets the ball. I mean, Richmond had inside position, and you're supposed to drive the guy up toward the shooter. But bigger than life, Smith just bore his way in there and just took it from him. But no reason that man should get the ball. No reason whatsoever. It's Cardinal sin.
Or a Spider sin. Three-point attempt rolls in and out. Stevenson could not save the ball. Good effort, but Stevenson was out of bounds. I love that Spider logo at midcourt.
Yeah, that was my idea. I like that one. He just didn't have a good handle on the ball. And I guess his foot hit the out-of-bounds mark when he was in possession of the ball.
Similar to the touchdown scored in the Chargers game the other day.
Oh, man, wasn't that something?
Akron Meade stepped out of the 2.
I think they have to go back to instant replay. I think it slows things up a little bit, but it's worth it. At least the call is correct.
Peabody was fouled. Fourth personal on Derek Wall.
Number 32, Derek Wall. That's his fourth personal. He's got number 5 for the Spiders.
You know, you should, out of bounds, you shouldn't let that ball come into the center like that, regardless of who got him. I think it could have been Stevenson more than Wall, but it was a foul on the Spiders. I think Stevenson got him, number 25, rather than Wall.
Peabody to the free throw line.
But the defender on the inbounds man should not let that ball come under the basket. He should make it go to the corner. This young man has a good-looking stroke. He should be a good free throw shooter. It's a good-looking stroke.
And he has hit 4 of 5. 10 points for Ben Peabody. 58-50. Glad you joined us tonight here on HTS. Kenny Albert along with Dick Tarrant. Producer Sam Green, director Sheldon Zimmer, statistician Marty Aronoff. The interception by Hopkins. Hamilton lays it home.
That's strong Hooker defense. A great steal, a great breakaway. They had the numbers, and they were very patient to finish at the goal. Well done.
VCU's lead back up to 10. Symmetrical numbers for Sherman Hamilton, Dick. 6 points, 6 assists, 6 steals. Rebounded by Byrd.
Having a great game.
Having a devil in a game.
Oh.
Here's Hopkins on the spin, but he travels. Steps called by Bernard Hopkins. Talk about the gray hair. You can see Sonny Smith.
Yes.
After that travel.
Well, Sonny's had 36 years of coaching. And he's got to have a couple of grays up there.
You informed us on Saturday during the James Madison Wilmington game that you were 8-4 lifetime against Fletcher Brazil. What about your lifetime record against Sonny Smith?
I don't recall. But with VCU, it's the shady side of the street. I think it's 8-11. something like that.
Didn't your Richmond squad eliminate Sonny Smith at Auburn, the final game of Charles Barkley's career?
That's right. That was Charles' last college game. And he had Chuck Person on that team, too. That was a great win for us. It was a great team.
Charles Barkley, Chuck Person, Chris Morris.
Outstanding.
Teammates at Auburn, coached by Sonny Smith. Here's Stevenson. Richmond hanging in there, trailing 60-52, 7.5 to go in this second half. Over 8,000 here at the Robins Center on the campus of the University of Richmond. The house that Dick Tarrant built.
Oh, not true. Not true. Great building. Was here before I came, but we had some great games in here. Some of our greatest games against Navy with David Robinson.
Hamilton's shot was short.
David was a challenge.
Here's Edwards. Edwards with 8 points off the bench. It was last season against Virginia Commonwealth when Edwards had his best game of the year, 93-94, with 8 points off the bench against the Rams.
They need his strength inside. He's a strong power player. Makes those jump hooks. Back to 6.
Tyrone McCoy from 3, he's got it. So McCoy silences the Spider fans as the Ram faithful in attendance on their feet. 3-point field goal for Tyrone McCoy. Makes a 6-point game 9. Here's Cueto. Bouncing it down low to Edwards. He's got it.
See, it's strength against strength. A kid like Edwards and McKinney can battle those big guys. So it's just he powered in, just an absolute inside power move. Little crude, but he get the job done.
Edwards 5 of 7, 10 points. McCoy underneath Hopkins, hands off to Byrd. He was fouled by Edwards.
Spiders back in the 1-3-1 zone. Dewey's trying to change the zones, try to slow up the tempo a little bit.
That's his third helping foul, number 6, substitution.
Oh, the foul was called on Cueto, not Edwards.
Number 45.
So 3 on Cueto.
Okay. Nice. Some nice interior passing there, post to post.
Byrd missed his 2 earlier free throw attempts. Make it 0 for 3.
Oh, that hurts. This could hurt VCU later in the season when they get into conference play and have some tough games. You got to be a better free throw shooter than what we're seeing here tonight.
15 points for George Byrd. VCU leads by 7. VCU has won their last 6, but they could be up for a very challenging 5 minute 55 seconds if Richmond continues to play as they have over the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Well, here's a little mini run by Richmond when Edwards makes a power move inside, but it quieted down. Nothing quiets down a run than a 3-pointer, and McCoy comes through with a great shot.
McCoy, who scored only 6 points in the first half and had been silenced so far in the second.
He's liable to step up here when it counts.
Richmond ball, they trail by 8. 5:40 to play, second half. Cass Weaver, guarded by Ben Peabody. Here's Stevenson. 12 on the shot clock. Weaver from 3. And Poole went over the back of Byrd. 3rd personal foul on Poole. And the 7th team foul, so that puts Richmond in the penalty. VCU will shoot 1-on-1.
You can't fault a kid like Poole for making a great move to the basket. He's had a good night on crashing the boards. He tries it again, but he climbed over the top. He's climbing over the top, and in his effort to make a putback, he fouled, obviously.
George Byrd just 1 of 4 from the charity stripe. He has 15 points. As the free throw woes continue. VCU now 14 of 26.
Wow.
Richmond not much better.
Neither team all year long has shot fouls very well.
Now the steal by McCoy. breaks ahead of the pack and hits.
Richmond's passing lanes are too long. They're throwing balls that are far too far distance. The distance is terrible on their passes, and McCoy's just nipping through them. They have to shorten their passing lanes. The passing lanes are too long.
Rams back up by 10. Just under 5 minutes to go.
Very important in basketball to keep your passing lane short.
Here's Weaver. Cass Weaver with 10 of his 17 in the second half. So
Have
Weaver
to make
has
a move.
come on strong.
Yeah, he can score. He'll find his way, but you know, with 4 to go, they've got to make a move. The Spiders have to make a move soon.
They have not been able to pull closer than 6
No.
in the second half. George Byrd. Here's McCoy. Lost his footing. Throws back out to Peabody from 3. Rebounded by Edwards, who's had a very strong second half. Edwards with 10 points here in the second. Poole all alone.
Good action there. Good fast break action. Ball went to the corner. Poole went to the ball side block. Had this man locked on the wrong side and delivered 6 again. They just can't put him away.
Crowd on its feet. Third time the Spiders have pulled within 6 points in the second half. Tough defense by Weaver on McCoy. 10 on the 35. Hamilton. Hamilton for 3. No good. Rebound. Pulled down by Stevenson. Richmond can pull within 4.
Big possession right here, Kenny. Big possession.
Spiders look for the perfect shot. Here's Stevenson. Edwards. Edwards could not control the rebound. Here comes Hamilton. Put home by McCoy, and the Rams back up by 8.
Nice 3-on-1 breakaway. They're very patient and got what they wanted. That was a key basket.
Richmond had the opportunity to pull within 4, but it is now 68-60 with 2:40 to go. Exciting second half here in Richmond. Poole was fouled by Hopkins, and that's number 4. Not a good foul by Bernard Hopkins out at the top of the key, his 4th personal.
Yeah, but he'll stay in the game. With 2.5 to go, they need Hopkins in there. And they're not in the bonus situations, Mike.
Only 4 second half team fouls, 3 of those 4 by Hopkins. 2:39 to go. It's the Rams 68 and the Spiders 60. One of the many young Richmond Spider fans in attendance.
Is she adorable?
She's excited despite the fact that the Spiders trail by 8.
Great atmosphere here tonight. We have good defense, good strong play, and I think everybody's getting his money worth. We have about 8,000 people.
In the house that Dick Tarrant built.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
We're going to pull you away from all the fans before the game. 5-second violation called on the Spiders.
That's a tough call. That is a tough call. Quite frankly, I think they should a referee should give them 6 or even 7. At this point in time, I'm not so sure that's tacky.
Tough call with 2.5 to play.
That was a big possession for the Spiders. Now with 2.5. I'm impressed with VCU's patience.
Byrd to McCoy. Pulled down by Wall. Here come the Spiders. Cass Weaver. Oliver, he's tripped up by McCoy. Number 3 on Tyrone McCoy.
It's a non-shooting foul. It's just a common foul, so it doesn't hurt that much. What impressing at VCU is their patience, their half-court defense, their rebounding. They're not nearly as reckless a team as they have been in the past. Not nearly as reckless. And I think an unsung hero is this young man Hamilton, who's had just a great night with 7 assists, 6 steals, 6 points, but 2 turnovers. He's doing a great job.
And following that 5-second violation moments ago, Cass Weaver forced to call timeout. He could not find a teammate to get the ball inbounds to. So both teams now down to 2 timeouts remaining. Sonny Smith of Virginia Commonwealth and Bill Dooley in his second year, longtime assistant under Dick Tarrant here in Richmond.
Dooley's done a great job with what he has. He has to play freshmen for long periods of time, and they really shouldn't play that long. We broke in Beckwith and Newman and John Davis and Crabtree acting, with 12, 16, 18 minutes a game. Bill's caught in a situation now where he has to use freshmen 30, 32, 34 minutes. And that's just the house isn't in order.
And the freshmen, Stevenson, Oliver, Cueto, and Poole refer to themselves as the Fab Four, the self-proclaimed Fab Four. 3 of them start,
yes.
And Oliver comes in off the bench.
They're going to be good in time. It's just that they need a lot of experience, and it's tough to throw them into the fire. This team has played Villanova, Arizona, Wake Forest, George Washington, VCU. They've played some of the better teams in the country, so a baptism of fire is a baptism of fire.
They beat George Washington, lost to Wake Forest by only 4 points. Played a tough Arizona squad on the road in front of 14,000 plus, lost 95-68. Richmond in action again this Saturday. They will visit UNC Wilmington, Virginia Commonwealth on Saturday, at Virginia Tech, one of their biggest rivals. And once again, Weaver will look to inbound. There is Coach Bill Dooley on the Richmond bench, who's got trailing by 8 with just over 2 minutes to play. They pulled within 6 on a couple of occasions here in the second half. Edwards over to Cueto. Under 2 minutes to play. Weaver from 3. Peabody was fouled by Wall, and Derek Wall is fouled out.
Yes, well, they had to. They had to do what he had to do. They needed a 3, and they had to throw the pass. They had to pass the ball around several times in order to get the 3, and the 3 was going to come from Weaver. He had a good look at the basket, but that was a point in time he needed a 3-point shot. He missed. They got the rebound. Rams got the rebound, and Wall fouled.
Wall fouls out with 3 points, 3 rebounds. The senior from Durham, North Carolina, co-captain Derek Wall will take a seat, and he is replaced by Eric Poole. So now the challenge for the Rams will be to hit some free throws.
That puts it home. If he makes his free throws, it's over, and they have fouls to give, so they can foul Richmond and kill some time, put the ball out of bounds.
And Peabody, one of their top foul shooters, although he misses that one.
Put the jinx on him, Kenny.
He hit 4 of his first 5 tonight. Here's Weaver driving baseline. Oliver, who had the good first half. Poole, the third attempt is rejected. Edwards controls, and he could not do it. Finally, on the 5th shot attempt, Edwards scores. And Richmond calls timeout.
You have to admire the persistence of the Richmond players in keeping after it, and keeping after it, and keeping after it. Finally tipped one in. It's a very good offensive sequence.
1 of 5 ain't bad, right? Edwards finally able to tap it home. He now has 12 points in the second half.
He's done a great job. Well, it's a big, strong body, fighting big, strong bodies, but the persistence is to be admired.
Richmond with 18 offensive rebounds.
So that's a terrific amount for a team that scores 62 points. You would think they would convert that many offensive rebounds into more points. Right now, I think that Dooley has to take a chance and do some fouling, hoping that they miss the front end of one-on-ones and come down and get a couple of good looks at basket. You know, if they make the free throws, and Rams make the free throws, this is history, but they haven't had a good history of making free throws in the clutch.
The Rams around the 50% mark, 14 of 27. They have missed the front end of 1-on-1 now the last 2 times, last 2 opportunities. Virginia Commonwealth leading by 68-62. Richmond has never led in the ball game. Rams' biggest lead was 13.
It just seems to me that Richmond's going to have to foul, put them on the line, take the chances.
Here come the Rams, McCoy, and he is pushed by Edwards. And the 3 on Rick Edwards.
What VCU wants to do is spread the floor and not let them foul. A lot of teams say, well, let them foul me, I'll shoot my free throws. But when you shoot as dismal as they do, I think it's better just spread out and try to play keep away, not get to the free throw line. Ironically, people think it's great to go to the line. If you don't let them get to you, they can't foul you. McCoy could have avoided that one, I think. But he's a pretty good free throw shooter. See, very important. Very big one.
McCoy led the Metro Conference last year from the free throw line.
He's got a great-looking stroke. He's played 4 years, a confident athlete, and he's a good end-of-the-game player.
Rams keep it alive after the McCoy miss. Hamilton fouled by Oliver. That's number 4, Darrell Oliver. Sherman Hamilton, 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Hamilton, a native of Moulton, Ontario, Canada, in the Toronto area, played for the Canadian junior national team 2 years ago. Hamilton, terrific numbers, 7 points to go along with 6 steals, 7 assists.
Very good defensive player, too. Boy, they're big ones. Big ones by Hamilton.
Hamilton sinks both. VCU up by 9, 71-62. Cueto throws up a prayer and he hits it. 3-point attempt is good by Cueto.
Couldn't get a timeout. They couldn't get one. Now they got a spread and don't want them foul.
Once again, a 6-point ball game as Weaver commits the foul on Hamilton.
Richmond was unable to stop the clock. They put the ball in so quickly that they couldn't get a timeout. Now, after a minute, of course, the clock will stop after all field goals. That's a good rule. That came down from the pros and started last year. See, these are the crushers, though. When they convert, these crush teams.
Keith Davis checks in for Virginia Commonwealth, replacing Sherman Hamilton. Leaves with 10 points.
Hamilton did a terrific job tonight. Terrific job.
1 minute remaining. 8-point VCU lead. Oliver. 2-on-1. Here's McCoy. Behind the back to Peabody.
Peabody's throwing them down there like it's Julius Irving. Terrific lift. Terrific finish to the game.
Peabody all of 6'3.5", and he has 3 slam dunks today. 3 of his 4 field goals. Jump ball, possession arrow to VCU. Now the fans starting to head for the exits with 36 seconds to go, and VCU up by 10.
VCU had a lot of good breakaways. Nice behind-the-back flip by McCoy and a great finish by Peabody. Just terrific. Good basketball.
And what a reaction. Foul on Oliver. That is his 5th. So Darrell Oliver has fouled out with 9 points. All of the first half. But now they've made a correction. The foul is not on Oliver. It's Eric Poole, his 4th. So Oliver remains in the ballgame. Ben Peabody, 4 of 6 from the free throw line, 12 points.
Very impressive athlete. Plays defense, has great lift, long arms, nice basketball player. This team has nice chemistry. I like VCU's selflessness. You know, in the past they've had some guys down there hunted the shot a little bit. Nobody on this team hunts the shot. Good-looking team.
Peabody with 14, 5 Rams in double figures. Keith Davis called for the personal.
The Spiders not even shooting 1-on-1. They're still in the common foul situation. So no harm. Foul, but no harm.
Foul, but no harm. Darrell Oliver takes it all the way. And Richmond calls timeout with 26.9 seconds to go. And a 10-point VCU lead. Balanced attack for the Rams, who it looks like will make it 12-3 with their 7th consecutive victory, barring a miracle comeback by the Spiders. George Byrd with 15 points. Tyrone McCoy and Ben Peabody 14 apiece. Ivan Chappell has 11. Sherman Hamilton 10. Cass Weaver, the high man, with 17 for the Spiders. And then 2 players off the bench combining for 23. Rick Edwards has 12 and Darrell Oliver 11.
Very impressive part of the evening was the man-for-man defense by VCU. The one thing that VCU must do to improve this year is to clear the defensive board. They gave too many offensive rebounds, and they have to become a better free throw shooting team. If they're going to do something in the Metro, I think they have to improve their free throw shooting, and they have to rebound the board a little stronger. I mean, for Richmond to get 20 offensive rebounds.
A steal by Weaver off the inbound pass. Poole could not hit. Lays it in. And now the foul by Cueto is 4th.
Hopkins, number 10, Carlos Cueto. That's his 4th personal.
Carlos Cueto played his high school ball for Coach Bob Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony's of Jersey City.
A lot of fine players come out of that program.
Adam Mobley replaces Carlos Cueto. Cueto leads with 8 points, 4 personal fouls. Hamilton has hit 7 straight from the line after missing his first 2.
It's vital, excuse me, Kenny, it's vital that a point guard be a good free throw shooter, because end of games when teams are losing, they're going to foul, you know, the ball handler being the point guard. So he's got to make his free throws, and he's done a good job tonight. Very good.
13 seconds to go. Oliver from 3. Mobley throws it up, and he's got it. Adam Mobley with his second 3-point field goal of the ball game. And that will do it. The final score. The Virginia Commonwealth Rams 78. The Richmond Spiders 72. VCU wins their 7th consecutive game. They are now 12-3, including a 4-1 record on the road, although they are playing in their hometown. Richmond drops to 4-8, 2-4 here at the Robins Center. VCU over Richmond by 6. We'll be back to recap in a moment.
With the best of VCU basketball, this is the Sonny Smith Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to the Sonny Smith Show. We're glad you're joining us on this Saturday. We got VCU basketball coming up immediately following the Sonny Smith Show today. And Coach has got this big grin on his face, and he should. 12-3, you got a lot to be grinning about.
Well, I've been grinning a lot here lately. Those lines are going to be past my ear now. But I'm very happy with the way things are going. I'm not totally satisfied, but I'm happy that we've been able to achieve what we have.
The last 2 games, I thought, were key victories for you. South Florida last week, and then earlier this week, a big win over at Richmond. They were good emotional wins for you.
South Florida was probably our best effort of the year because we defended and played offense very good against a very solid team. And I think it's going to show more on down the road. Of course, they were 8-2 when they came in. And the win over Richmond, no matter who's good, who's bad, who's big, who's little, it's a big win. And it does a lot for everybody, your fans, your players, and that was a nice win for us to win on their court, the same way they won on our court a year ago.
Next few games, in fact, the last 4 games, counting Richmond, you've got Virginia Tech, James Madison, and then Virginia Union. I mean, let's just load up everybody in the state and play is what it
well,
seems
they can't
like.
accuse us of not playing the state teams, that's for sure. And, you know, those things are pressurized situations, and they end up being teams that really get after one another, and sometimes I wonder why the crowds don't get bigger for those games because they're so competitive.
It's kind of interesting, though, to be playing all those folks back to back to back. And like you said, it's almost like...
I'm trying to forget it, and you keep bringing it up.
Well, but it's almost like being in a tournament just with some days in between it, and it's close to what you got in the Metro tournament because it's an emotional game every game.
Every game is emotional, and we've stood up to the test pretty good so far. I hope we keep doing it.
All right, why don't we jump into some of the highlights? We'll go last Saturday, first game against South Florida. Coach said it may have been one of the best games all year. Pepsi highlights. Let's take a look at the game in the Coliseum. There's the always coolly dressed Bobby Pascal.
You know, Bobby's a great guy, and you have to get to know him to like him type thing. That's Bernard Hopkins powering it in under the bucket. I thought he had an outstanding game in this. The passing was good in this, and the outside shooting was good. That was Tyrone McCoy from downtown, and he's been doing that quite effectively recently. Ben Peabody on a short drive and a pull-up, and Ben didn't score a lot of points in this game, but was outstanding on defense. We're getting a few pictures taken from the stands, as I see. There's a drive with the right hand by Keith Davis, and later on he gets a big left-hand drive, and we're getting a little more offense out of him, and there's a steal. We've been getting a lot of steals this time, and a beautiful pass from Sherman to Tyrone, and he dunks it, and Sherman is getting more assists. He's second in the league in assists now. This is a set play for George Byrd, and he delivered with the bank off the glass. George is getting more aggressive offensively, and that's helping us a great deal. Ivan Chappell with a jumper from the foul line on a set play. Ivan comes up big for us at times that we really need baskets, and he's doing a good job of coming off the bench for us. Oh, behind the back.
Hey, whoa.
Behind the back. 250 behind the back. Got away from him a little bit, but he's still hanging. George Byrd, a good lead pass out, and a nice basket by Tyrone. We got out on steals and got some good running going. And a jumper from the top of the key by Bernard Hopkins. Since he started dropping that shot, it's opened up the inside a lot more for us, and it's getting a lot better.
Is that Terry Sisiski there? Was that
I
him
believe we
running the
just
camera?
passed by Terry, the legend. And the basket powered up around the basket. This is Keith's left-hand layup. I didn't know we were going to show it, but I'm glad we did, because Keith's getting on the board with a little bit of offense now, and that's helping everybody. Now, I don't know how to explain this, except I'm taking a trip to Nashville next time. We're going to do some line dancing. George Byrd on a drive and a powered-up layup.
Well, you better work on it. I don't think you quite got it down
I
just
didn't
yet.
think I had that. I think I have to lose a little weight and smile a little more. Beautiful layup by McCoy. We actually moved the ball, defended, rebounds, blocked shots, probably better in this game we played so far.
I'm gonna let a cat out of the bag on this. Before the game last week, when we taped the show last week, you said that you thought the South Florida game might be the toughest game all year, and your team really rose to the occasion, even tougher than the Louisville game going into it.
I thought it would, because see, they only had 2 losses, and there were 2 great teams there in Florida State, and had a super win over Jacksonville, who had just beaten Florida. So they were playing real good basketball and had all those starters back. Bench was stronger than it had been before. And I was afraid we were going to have a hard time with these people. And we just got off to a good start and kept the pressure on them, defended well, and it ended up being a victory. And I was surprised we played as well as we did, really.
All right, let's do Wednesday night in the Robins Center against Richmond. Pepsi highlights again. And this was another game where you jumped out of the box in a hurry. A good crowd on hand, had about 8,000 there. And I tell you what, there was a start, and that guy was instrumental in the start.
Well, we started out we tried to establish an in-the-paint offense early. And we got it in there, and George has got a layup and a dunk already. And I think this loosened the defense up. We knew they were going to play a matchup zone, and they played it, and we got through it with some awfully good passes. That's a pass from McCoy to Hopkins, and Hopkins makes it. Another beautiful pass down inside, a reverse dunk by Ben Peabody, and Ben rejoicing a little bit. He's so he doesn't show much emotion, but he got us a little emotion going there. And Tyrone ramming one home. Tyrone had an outstanding ball game, defensively and offensively, because if you notice that we ran a lot in this game. I was asked a lot of questions about this. The reason we did is they hit the board with so many people, it was easy to run back on them. And there is a jump shot by George Byrd in the lane. If we had gotten Bernard a little bit more involved in the offense, I think we'd have been better off there. Byrd putting another basket in, and Byrd would have to thank Sherman Hamilton for the things that happened to him in this ball game, because he just got the ball down in there to him. Great pass inside to Byrd. This looks like the George Byrd show. He's getting more time than he should. I'm going to talk to him about this.
Well, he had 15. I guarantee he scored all night long.
There he goes again. with a layup. He did a good job of getting on the backside of the board. And there's one of Sherman's 6 steals. Nice lob, nice dunk, and it's been celebrating a little bit. I got to start watching that a little more closely. I didn't notice that he did that. Great Sherman getting a little bit better in his aggressiveness, taking the ball to the basket. And here was a beautiful pass to Peabody from McCoy. They double-teamed us a lot, left their inside people on, and that is Bernard Hopkins sticking one in around the goal. That was a great pass from Keith Davis. Nice layup by Sherman Hamilton on a beautiful pass from Bernard. Here's another steal. I thought this was one of the best steals of the game. Yeah. Hid the ball, laid it up, and these kind of things made it. I think the game was a little farther out than what the score indicated in, because we let them score so many baskets there late, but we were always able to kind of keep it at 10, and I felt comfortable, with the exception of the way we kind of got to rejoicing a little much late in the ball game, and the game wasn't over. I think our guys forgot to look at the scoreboard, but they got the big old trophy back, and I guess they're happy about that.
You had 4 folks in double figures in the game Wednesday night. Tyrone had 14, George Byrd had 15, Ben Peabody had 14, Sherman Hamilton had 11. 5 people in double figures, because I forgot Ivan Chappell came in and hit some big 3-pointers, especially in the first half. I mean, he came in and filled it up from both corners and kind of surprised some people, I think, coming in and hitting those threes.
Well, had he not done that, we would have had a tough time against that zone, because that zone would have packed back in there, taken away that inside game, and we wouldn't have been able to do what we did. I think Ivan really loosened everything up for us. Early in the season, Ivan was making those threes. He went into a slump, and he got down there shooting around 27% from 3, so we kind of took the threes off. He went out and worked on his shot on his own, and he's got that thing back now to where he's getting a little bit of arc on it, not hesitating it as much. It's not a real pretty shot. Not going to win any awards for beauty, but the thing goes through the net, and I like it when it does that.
Are you surprised at the record right now? I mean, are you really surprised to be 12-3?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really am. Not so much because I'm a pessimist. Youth, inexperience, and one proven scorer, and a guy coming off back surgery that we didn't know was even going to be able to, what he was going to be able to do. A bench that hadn't played a lot. Keith Davis on one with any minutes at all. And John Smith, questionable because of knee problems. I just wasn't sure that we were ready for this, but Bernard Hopkins stepped up immediately and made things happen. McCoy got more consistent, made things happen. Sherman Hamilton's turned into a solid point guard, and Keith Davis, between the two of them, the defense that they give us is pretty much as good as anybody in the league on the point.
All right, folks, that's our Pepsi highlights. When we come back, we'll have our USR Spotlight as the Sonny Smith Show continues. Stay with us.